Hi, Garrison. It's Miss Matthews, your principal. I miss you so much, and I've been thinking about you. And I know it's hard not to be here at school and really challenging to try to do this distance learning stuff. And I want to encourage you to keep going. And I want you to remember that right now you are living through history. Nothing like this has ever happened in the U.S. We've never closed our schools before. Ever, never. And so I want you to look around at what's happening. I want you to write down what you see and what you hear and what you're feeling. And someday soon we'll be back all together and be able to tell stories in person. I picked this one, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, because it was my son's very favorite story for a while. My daughter loved it too, and I think it's still my favorite because everybody has those bad days. So let's read this together. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray card kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window, and Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. And I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. And at singing time, she said I sang too loud. And at counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? You guessed it. It was a terrible, say it with me, horrible, no good, very bad day. And that's what it was, because then after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying I'm a crybaby, my mom came back with the car and she scolded me for being muddy and for fighting. I was having a terrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody, and no one even answered. And then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, and Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes, and Nick chose red ones with white stripes, and I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said we're all sold out. And they made me buy just plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up Dad from the office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. And he also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. Then my dad said to please not pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. And there was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot, I got soap in my eyes, my marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nook took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says that some days are like that, even in Australia. I hope that you are not having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. But if you are, just remember it'll pass. It won't be forever. Put on some music, find a book to read, talk to somebody. You're okay, and everything's going to be all right in the long run. So hang in there, and I look forward to sharing some stories with you in person very soon.